Alright everyone, welcome back. This is round 3, back 9 coverage from the 2020 Las Vegas Challenge, presented by Innova Champion Discs. Shout out to Gatekeeper Media for having me on once again. Just me running it solo for you guys this time. Pretty stoked about this back 9 coverage from the factory store. Taking a look at the leaderboard here. Garrett Girthy making a push. He's tied. Sexton and Tristan Tanner still holding strong, just one back. Our chase card isn't doing so bad. Philo is only 3 off the lead at this point in the round. Emerson Keith just 4 off the lead. Calvin and Sias not too far behind. Getting right into the action. Hole 10. It's a par 3, 378 feet. Right-hand, backhand players are going to have to hang this one out over the water almost the entire length of the hole. This is the hole that Andrew Presnell aced last year, if you guys remember from that Central Coast footage. And Philo's just going to be going Stable Destroyer out here. Most of these players can get there with just one angle, just that hyzer angle. And you can see Philo just kind of early out of the hand, in front and left. Forehand is a play. Takes about 400 feet of power. Emerson flexing that enforcer out there. Maybe a little too wide, but gets a good roll back towards circle's edge. He's going to be looking at a headwind putt. And I believe Vinny is tossing an eagle out there, and that looks like it has a little bit too much hyzer, and it does, and it's going to be skipping into circle 2. Yeah, you can see the overcast, the moisture was definitely coming into play at this point in the round, and the wind was a bit swirly as well coming down the stretch. All of these players are actually going to be a little bit further than they'd like to be on this hole. Philo from 45. Just a bit left. And Vinny from a similar distance. Just misses low. And Emerson is also just right outside the circle. Everyone on this card is going to be taking a par, and they're definitely going to be feeling like they're losing strokes to the leaders. It's a good cleanup from Philo. Vinny tapping in as well. Alright, moving into hole 11. It's a par 4, 565 feet. You have to decide if you want to carry this OB golf green right here. There is water on the right if you turn it over. The most elite distance throwers can actually get to this pin in one. Most players are going to be playing a hyzer off to the left side of the green if they can't carry it. And Philo playing the layup shot just in front and left of the green. He's going to have a hyzer approach into the green. A little early out of the hand from Emerson. I believe that's a new disc that he's throwing. That's a Sergeant from Dynamic Discs. And was telling me it's somewhat like a like a Thunderbird and is very happy with how it's flying. And look at this shot from Calvin. Destroyer, flat to hyzer, all the way across the green, nearly pin high. That is all of 500 feet, and he's going to have a very simple approach for his birdie. Looks like Sias let go of that one just a little early. He's hyzering off left, but it's pretty safe over there. You can see what Philo has left now. Maybe 200 feet left to the pin. He's going rock here. Hanging it out a little wide and actually gets knocked down. Couldn't quite tell. Maybe circle's edge right there. And Sias, a little more left, has to go steep hyzer into that, and that is perfectly drawn up from Sias. Emerson going with that Bruins Justice now. He's far enough left that he's got to hit a little gap with this little baby forehand. Needs it to check up. Oh, and catches one of those trees, drops it down just outside the circle. And look at that. After Calvin's drive, he just has to pitch it up. That's incredible. And there's that front side miss from Emerson. Just didn't quite give it enough rotation. And Philo hits the band. He's going to be taking another par. And again, these guys are feeling like they are losing strokes at this point. Emerson actually has a little left for his par. Has to go to the straddle. Believe he's still putting with the keystone. Ooh, super hyzer. Gets it to stick left side though. Definitely a relief right there that one stuck. And a nice birdie from Sias after his clever approach. All right, we are moving into the only par 5 on the property. 987 feet. Not a ton of danger. That bunker right there does tend to collect some of the second shots. This one is definitely drivable in 2 shots for the elite distance throwers. We've seen roller come into play on this hole. But Calvin is going to show us right here how it's done. Going destroyer. Absolutely. Nearly perfect angle out of his hand. He is in prime position. I believe that's the 500 mark that he's pin high with. So that is a huge shot. And this is a really great angle from Sias. Beautiful full shot. You can see that that's 50 to 75 feet shorter than where Calvin's drive went. Yeah, and Philo just continues to impress me with his angles. He's just been playing some incredible golf to start the year. And Emerson going Ballista Pro here. Didn't quite get that one to break like he wanted to. He's going to be in a decent position for his second. And Philo tossing another stable destroyer out there over that bunker, and he's in prime position. Looks like Emerson's got a little bit to manage, but gets a clean throw off. Oh, this is huge. Wow. Huge shot from Emerson. He's going to have around 100 left for his third. Looks like Sice might be lining this one up to go for the green. Gets a great initial angle on it. Gets it to flex out. That is a huge shot. He's right up there with Emerson. But I believe this is going to be our only chance at an eagle right here. Calvin Heimburg flipping this destroyer up and over. Oh, gets that late tree right there. That was headed toward the bucket. He's going to be left with a circle 2 look for eagle, though. And Philo with the rare forehand. He's been kind of throwing a few more of those lately. That was a good angle. He's right outside circle 1, though. Beautiful approach from Sias. Emerson going with that justice again. This should be no problem for him. Looks like the rain is picking back up. And that was Calvin's look for eagle. He's going to have a tap in for his birdie. Let's see if Philo can correct on his last 2 putts. Yeah. Oh, no. That one looked on the money. Just kind of got pushed down at the last second. And that's a good hit for his par. 3 pars in a row, though. Definitely feeling like needs to get back on that birdie train. Especially when everyone else on your card is just parked for birdie. And hole 12 was playing a quarter of a stroke under par. We are moving into hole 13. It's a par 3, 453 feet. One of the tougher par 3s on the property. Playing nearly half a stroke over par. You can see that sand trap perfectly placed right below the pin. There is a green left. And Calvin is definitely attacking, has plenty of power. And I believe he found the hazard on that one. If that shows you anything, even Calvin didn't quite fully connect, and he's found the hazard. Most players are opting to lay this one up short. It takes 500 feet of power to get up this hill. And you can see Emerson is attacking here and just turns that one over, and that's gonna be a pretty difficult approach from over there. The pin is like up on this little mound, and an approach from any distance can be difficult, especially with that sand trap only 20 feet away from the bucket. Emerson going to a knee, Justice out wide. He's safe, gonna be putting back at it. Cameraman tracking it down. Very touchy shot right here. Really want to hit the front side of that hill and just get it to scoot up, and that's perfect from Philo. Yeah, you can see Calvin's shot. Calvin's shot was huge and just a few feet short of making it up and out of that sand trap, and he's going to have circle 2 look to save his par. Boom. Putting the pizza in the oven. If you guys remember, that's what Calvin likes to think about when he is putting. Just simple down and up. Oh, and Emerson just pushes that one to the right. He's going to be taking a bogey. And this is the first time again that we've seen Emerson with that new routine. If you guys remember, we saw him make an incredible run at the World Championships in Illinois last year. He definitely was firing those putts in there, but his routine was a little bit different. I'm curious to see if he chooses to continue with that routine or not after this event. And we're moving into hole 14. It's a par 3, 441 feet. Really, 13 and 14 are some of the tougher par 3s back to back that we see. This one also playing a quarter stroke over par. You can see this green right here is out of bounds, and the sidewalk right is out of bounds. A lot of the field is choosing to lay this one up. I'm very curious to see how this card chooses to attack. Calvin definitely attacking this one. Getting it to turn over. Looked like it was holding over a little too long. He is safe. He's pin high. Looking at a safe putt. That was a beautiful shot. Believe that was an eagle. And Sias really needs this one to hold over, and that's where this hole gets dangerous if you just let it hyzer out. Oh, and that tree might have saved him from going on the green. He's going to have a safe circle 2 look. Good initial angle from Philo. Man, just a little low. That might have been parked. That is high. Never quite got that one to break over. That needs to come back off the green, and it doesn't. He's going to be out of bounds. Sias giving that one a great bid. Emerson almost cashing that one for distance to save par. Philo looks like he's got a pretty obstructed putt. And let's see if Calvin can snag the lone birdie. From 45 feet. Oh, and that tree was in the way. I couldn't quite tell if it was or not. Just that one branch. He catches it. And Chase Card is going to be playing hole 14 1 over.
Hi everyone, welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Las Vegas Challenge, the first stop on the road to the championship. This is the first of 26 events scheduled throughout the year around the world, giving the world's best players an opportunity to punch their ticket to the United States Disc Golf Championship at Winthrop University this fall. We look forward to seeing you in Rock Hill.
We are moving into the final 4 holes. We're headed back down the hole, back down the hill. Hole 15. Sorry guys, it's a par 3, 367 feet. That sidewalk is out of bounds. The basket is only 25 feet. Those rock walls right there are out of bounds. And if you hyzer too far left, you can find the OB as well. Definitely looking to pick this birdie up, but there is a ton of danger. And Calvin is just going one angle at this pin. And that is perfect shot right there. He went stable fairway. Looks like Sias is going stable mid-range. Oh, gets that one to stand up beautifully. Just a little short. He might have that bush in his way, but he's circle's edge. And Philo is tossing a Firebird out there. And that is also just drawn up perfectly. And that is a mid-range from Emerson, and that also looks perfect, and it is. Really 4 great shots. Yes, Sias. Was kind of feeling that one from him. He gets it to stick right side, and we are looking at an all-star in hole 15. See a nice big rainbow in the background. It was just a beautiful day out here. I mean, there was a little bit of rain, but it really turned out way better than expected. And you can see that it's overcast, but the sun is shining, and there was just a beautiful background for the frisbees to fly through. And we're moving into hole 16. It's a par 4, 725 feet for the right-hand backhand player that can really throw far. This is a dream tee shot right here. The sidewalk left is out of bounds, and that green right there is out of bounds as well. But we are going to see some huge turnovers out of these players. This hole definitely sets up for some of the biggest shots on the property. Calvin maybe getting that one to just turn over a little too much, but wow, you can see just how fast it caught edge. Just misses the casual goose right there. But a huge shot, all of 450 feet. And Sias actually turns that over a little too much, hoping it doesn't cut roll out. Couldn't quite tell, but as long as you get 350 feet of distance, you should be in a decent position to attack the green. And Philo also turning that one over a little much. It's definitely the safe miss. The bad miss here is not turning it over enough and hyzering out across that sidewalk. There might be a little wind, left to right wind out there holding those annies over. Sias from out of position clears the green, and he's going to be looking at a circle's edge putt for a birdie. Emerson opts for the forehand, and this is tracking. Sit. No, and there's that roll down the backside of that hill. Almost a perfect shot. If he gets that one to hit the hill just a few feet shorter. Philo clearing the way. Looks like he has a Firebird in his hands. Nice and flat. Needs it to hyzer just a bit. Couldn't quite tell where he finished. Might be at circle's edge. And a beautiful approach from Calvin. 20 feet left for a birdie. Oh, so Philo actually slid back down the hill, and he's got a full approach left. That must have rolled quite a ways. And here's Sias. This is somewhat a death putt. This can get dangerous if he doesn't connect. Just a little low, and it looks like it's sat. All right. And Emerson, from a straddle, obstructed putt, goes hyzer around the tree for his birdie. That was actually a really solid putt from Philo. You couldn't quite tell, but he had to go to a straddle and actually go through some of those limbs right there. Really solid putt for the par save. And there's that routine. No matter the distance, Calvin, very routine-based putter. One of only a few 1040 players in the world at this point, so it's definitely working out for him. And hole 17, they changed this one this year. It's a par 4. It's 457 feet. The basket used to be right here, and they've moved it back behind these palms. That sidewalk is out of bounds. The fence to the right is out of bounds, and there's OB only 15 feet behind this pin. A very small green and a very tricky drive right here. Probably the tightest drive that we have on the entire property. Calvin going with that forehand flex, hits low, but he's not in a horrible position. This one is very tricky to find where to land. And this is a pure drive from Emerson. Maybe the best drive I've seen on the hole. That's way up there. He's going to have a small hyzer approach. Oh, and Philo finds that right gap. Not too much distance, but again, there's not really a horrible landing zone on this hole, except Sias. Sias is going to have to concede this one and just pitch up. Very curious to see what Calvin does from here. It looks like he's lining up a spike hyzer. This is very dangerous. He's going out over the OB on the right, blind the entire way. Oh, and he found the out of bounds. You can see the indecision from the spotter right there. Not quite sure where he went out of bounds at yet. And there's another forehand from Philo. A safe forehand, but he's on the green. And there's a beautiful grenade from Sias. If you have it, that is definitely a great play on this hole. And you can see just how much Emerson is getting rewarded for puring that forehand drive. After Philo's forehand, this left for the birdie, and a beautiful stroke, just a few inches low. Okay, so Calvin actually went out of bounds deep, and you can see the spotter just picked up his disc right there. I mean, he was only 5 or 6 feet out of bounds. So was well inside the circle with that big hyzer. Having to take a par, and that's a good par save from Sias after hitting that early tree. Alright guys, moving into hole 18. That's a par 4, 582 feet. They moved the basket up into the hill on the right. That sidewalk that you see on the right is out of bounds, and there's a string on the left that marks the OB if you hyzer off too much. That golf green is out of bounds, and that kind of changes things for the elite distance players. They're kind of forced to either commit to go for it, which we have seen this hole two'd in the past. I believe Drew Gibson, Eagle McMahon, and Simon are among the names that have two'd it. Most players are going to be playing this one in front of the green and just pitching up. Hole 18 is arguably one of the easier holes on the factory course. It's playing nearly a full stroke, or a half stroke under par. Calvin throwing that stable luster destroyer out there. Calvin does have the distance, but decides to lay that one up. And that's 3 perfect layups. Sias also going wide hyzer. Looked like he hung on to that one. Oh, and he did. He caught that palm, and he never came back in bounds. That's a pretty big mistake from Sias, and he is actually way back there. And a beautifully placed second. And this is basket's up on that hillside, and you really want to get this one to hit before and kind of scoot up to it so you don't get that roll. And there is another forehand from Philo. Beautiful shot with that Firebird. And Emerson far enough up there that he gets to take this justice on a forehand into the green. A little out of the hand. A good tree to keep him inside 25 feet. Emerson for his birdie. No, don't. And just when you think the round's over, you're ready to get a birdie to finish, and you just miss, and it even rolls away and leaves you with a similar distance for par. And Calvin finishing his round with a birdie. Emerson does connect for his par. And this is Sias for his bogey. Philo from 15 feet to finish the round off with a birdie. All right, taking a look at the leaderboard after round 3. Not quite the scores these players were expecting for sure. Sexton with another 9 down, leading the way. Lead card is going to be Sexton, Girthy, Tanner, and Oakley, and the chase card is going to be Ricky Wysocki, Kevin Jones, Oscary, and Calvin maintains on the chase card. Guys, give a huge shout out to the Gatekeeper crew. They have been sacrificing their sleep to bring you guys this action from Vegas, and it's been some incredible golf. I am really stoked to see some more golf in round 4 back at the Innova course. Thanks, everybody.